Good morning. I'm here today to show you some journals I've been working on that I finally finished. They've been sitting here since Christmas, really. These are 4 little journals. Let me see how big they are. They're the same as my little Christmas journals that I love. They're small enough to keep in your purse. So this is about 5.5 by 3 3/4. They're sweet little journals. I just love them. And I have always done some kind of sewing or hand stitching, even as a little girl, and I loved it. It always puts you in a very zen state. My grandma taught me how. Actually, both my grandmas, and my mom was a seamstress, so I always did some type of hand stitching, and I think it's a really good thing for kids to do. It's a good alternative to being online. So I'm always showing my nieces and how to, do some hand stitching. So these journals are a tribute to that. My dog is angry that I'm down here, so you're going to hear him barking. So all of these journals have pictures of someone doing some type of hand stitching or sewing. So these are little. They're nice thick cover. It has layered with some cheesecloth and papers, and this is some vintage lace. So I'm going to go through them quickly. The insides are pretty plain. They're all pretty similar, but I'll go through all of them each separately. So on the inside, I put a little tuck spot. It's actually like a little collage kind of papers and fabric. And so it has like a little double tuck spot. So you could tuck it in this way, or you could, here's another little tag with some fabric on it. You could tuck it in the back. The backing of this, I used, if you could tell, this is like one of the patterns that you pin when you're doing sewing. So I Mod Podged that onto the back. Give it a real sewing theme. So there's tea-dyed papers and grid paper. There's a doily. I used, for a tuck spot here, I just used a piece of, it's a digital download that I got. That's a little doily. And this is an index card that I also collaged with a doily. You could do writing on the back. But otherwise, these are pretty plain. So I used to do counted cross stitch, and I cut up one of my books to use for pages. There's also some Edith Holden papers in here, music paper. So I'm a big fan of Izzy on YouTube, and she showed heat embossing. Can you see how it glitters? This gold heat embossing, and that's a sewing machine. And I collaged that onto, again, like a pattern that I Mod Podged onto this journaling card. So that's a fun little thing. Little folder, doily, grid paper, tea-stained paper. Here's another little folder with a little collage on it for some journaling. I did a lot of stitching here and there with some lace. Here's another of those cross-stitch pages. There's a little notepad I sewed in with little collaged papers, a little journaling tag with a doily. This is just, it could be a journaling spot too, but it's just paper clipped on. It's also like a little cutout that you could do journaling or stick a picture on or whatever you want. Put little notes in, and it's just held on with a paper clip. Becomes a tuck spot on both sides. So that, and then here's more of that cross stitch paper, tea stained paper. Here's another folder, journaling card. Also the heat embossing. This is, you know, this was so much fun to do. I have to do more of this. Came out so cool. And I learned from IzzyBee. She's on YouTube. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and she also shows how to make this book. I mean, I made it a sewing themed journal, but I used her dimensions to make this book. She's a wonderful teacher if you're looking to learn how to make your own books. And some more paper with sewing theme. Here's another little journaling card, has lace and some collaging on it. I could put some little notes on that. Some music paper. Otherwise, they're pretty, you know, plain inside. I think each has 36 pages in it. This is a little flip out. There's a pocket on the back also with a couple of journaling cards, little button holder. And this, I actually hand painted the background. It's a playing card. So I did some painting on that, and then I put a little image on it, a little 3D image just for fun, make it stand out. So 36 pages, lots of journaling space, and I'm going to be putting these in my Etsy shop. Let me go through each one real quick. So this one, I love the cover images. Got them all on Pinterest, actually. So they have some fabric layered, some music paper. That looks like a mother and a daughter to me. They're doing some hand stitching. There's a little lace on it. And again, inside, the back, there's a little pocket here. The back is that pattern paper. Made a couple little journaling tags. There's paper. I put a little tuck spot on this one. You know, each one's a little different because, you know, when you're doing these things, it depends on the mood you're in. So it has a little lace on top. Cute little journaling card. Little piece of vintage lace there. This is Edith Holden page. And doily and music paper. This is a folder that flips out. Has a little notepad with various papers. There's a little fabric collage with a couple of journaling tags in there to write on. Had so much fun making these. Another little button holder with a little clip holding it on. This is also like a little, this is held on by a little paper clip. One of the little Tim Holtz paper clips. But this is just a little floating pocket that you could put anywhere. And it has a couple little journaling cards on it. I did some collaging on that one. And that just clips in with these little Tim Holtz paper clips. And again, the papers are all the same. I have some cross-stitch papers. Here's another of those little heat embossed stamps. Another little pocket. Some space. Here's a little journaling card that I collaged on. A little Edith Holden paper. Some more of that cross-stitch paper. There's another of those little cutouts that's just held onto a music page. Has a little journaling card. But that could be unclipped and journaled on. And some grid paper, tea-dyed paper. Another little folder with a journaling card collaged on it with fabrics and cheesecloth and ribbon. Another little cross-stitch pattern. I used to love doing that. My eyes just can't do them anymore. Yeah, so these were a lot of fun to make. Here's one more of those. So each of these books has 2 of these embossed cards in them, and then collage journaling cards also. 36 pages in each, doily. And on the back, I made another little notepad and a journaling card with a doily on it. A little index card pocket. So that's the second one. Love that one. Here's another. I'll probably just call these sewing journals, and I'll number them 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a woman in a garden doing some hand stitching, and I stitched on some vintage lace, and there's cheesecloth. And again, there's journaling cards back here, double tuck spot with some buttons. Same papers. I'm just going to run through this quick so I'm not wasting time here. Little journaling card that's all collaged in a pocket. There's a tuck spot. You could put another little journaling card in if you want. Oh, and here's the journaling card. I do that all the time. I should check first. It has some lace and a button. A little collaging on that. Cross-stitch paper, tea-dyed paper, music paper. Here's another little, I love this paper. It has, I found papers that had like sewing images on them. My mother used to sketch these designs in her notepads when she did a pattern. There's another little journaling card that's embossed. See the heat embossing, gold heat embossing with a journaling card in the back. More papers, another little journaling card, a little tuck spot, Edith Holden paper. There's your center. I love that picture. Beautiful images in Edith Holden papers, or books actually. Another little cross-stitch page, grid paper. Here's another little journaling card with some sewing images. Here's a little quote that I put on there. And there's a folder with some collaged fabrics and laces and pictures. So the rest is pretty much the same. Here's a little tuck spot with a journaling card with stitching around it. Here's another of those heat embossed. Can you see that glitter? And just a little journaling tag stuck in there for some color. And then on the back, oh, this is a music sheet. Another little journaling card. Tuck spot. And then on the back there's another pocket with some tags to write on. Lots of little journaling spots and fabrics and laces. So that's the third one. And the last one is little girl doing, it looks like hand embroidery to me. She's got her little DNC flosses on the table. This also has some vintage lace on the edge, cheesecloth layered with some images and an old book page. And inside this one has a little collage pocket with some journaling cards, little postcard. Papers are the same, so I'll run through those quickly. Edith Holden. There's your little heat embossed image. Little tuck spot with some cards in it. There's another journaling card that I made. Lots of collaging and layering. Doily, there's a button, a little tuck spot. Here's another little tuck spot with a little image of someone sewing. And here's your other folder with the sewing machine image on it. Love these. So creative, Izzy. And then here's your last pocket. In the background, there's some pattern paper and little collaging on there. Doily paper, Edith Holden paper, music paper. So there's lots of journaling space in these to do your writings in or keep track of sewing projects you're working on. And that's it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. They all have seam binding to tie them shut. I'll put the pictures up on, I'll, take pictures and put them up on Etsy today, hopefully. Hope you love them. See you soon. Bye.